Okay, well it's today's the day for my annual oil change. The intervals on this are every 12,000 miles or 1 year. This is a 2002 Volvo S60 D5. As you can see, I'm coming up to 180,000 miles, just a few miles off that. Got the engine up to full operating temperature, and I'm going to be putting in, I'm going to be giving a go to this Liqui Moly Pro Line engine flush. It's worth saying right from the start that neither Volvo or pretty much every engine manufacturer, none of them, or pretty much none of them, recommend that you use an engine flush. They're quite categoric in that they don't think you should be using any oil additives or flushes. So this is something that I'm doing obviously completely off my own bat. It's my own little exercise. I am not recommending you do this on your car, but if you were considering doing an engine flush or using this particular product, then you might find it interesting to see what my experience was of it. It claims to do all sorts on here. I'm not sponsored by Liqui Moly at all. Obviously I've bought this myself, and yeah, so here we go. Engine flush removes deposits, residues and gums from all 4-stroke petrol and diesel engines, resins and asphalts which age metal surfaces. It thickens the oil and create acid combustion and condensation. It removes carbon and lacquers, which can affect the piston rings, restores full engine performance, full compression, recovers oil lubricating properties. Goodness me, I mean, there's quite some claims on there. So I mean, I think the only thing it doesn't claim it can do is increase your length and girth by 100%. So we'll see what happens. It's an idle flush, which basically means that you just pour it into your engine and then you idle your engine for 10 minutes. You don't drive off, you don't vary the revs, you don't do anything. You just pour it in, start the car and idle for 10 minutes, and that should be enough. And then you just drain it with your old oil, just as part of a regular, your normal regular oil change. So yeah, so I'll stress again, I am not recommending you use this product. This is just my experience, and let's see how we get on with it. One of the things I'll be interested to see, I've been getting quite a bit of smoke from the dipstick once the car's warmed up. I don't know whether you can see that through the shadow, quite a bit of smoke. And it is also a positive pressure coming up from there as well. If you put the finger of a rubber glove over there, it will keep it inflated. And also from the oil filler, quite a pronounced popping as well. Now that popping does disappear if I put the revs up to like 1500 revs. It does then create a vacuum and that popping disappears. Now I've read from very knowledgeable and reliable sources that some sort of smoke from the dipstick and popping from the oil filler on a D5, on a Volvo D5, doesn't necessarily mean that there's any crankcase breathing problems, and it's quite normal behaviour. But that popping sound to me does sound a little bit excessive. So we'll see what happens after the flush, see if it makes any difference. The normal thing, if you have positive pressure from the crankcase, is to actually change the oil separator, which is on the D5 is tucked back here. It doesn't have a dedicated, it doesn't have a PCV system as such, but it does have an oil separator linked with these pipes here and this pipe here, which go down into the oil separator down there. It's quite an expensive part to replace, especially at a garage or even if you're doing it yourself. So I'll see if this flush makes any difference. And you have to click these two tabs in here to get it past there. It must be pretty violent stuff if they've got a little locking tab on there. Got a little ring pull inside. Can't work out really what it smells of. It smells quite petrol-y. It looks quite, I don't know, petrol-y, diesel-y, not too sure. So I'm going to put in the full half can. It says it treats 5 litres. Well, the sump on this is actually 6.5 litres, but I'm not going to buy an extra can to just make up the difference. Hopefully that should be enough. And all I'll do then is just start the engine. I hope the thing doesn't blow up. Actually, there's still a bit left in the can. Get my money's worth out of it. There we go. Right, I'll go and start the engine. And set the timer going. It's set for 10 minutes. So there we go. Leave that to run down. And like I say, it's an idle flush. So you don't do anything with it, you just leave it working around the engine and that's it. Okay, so we're getting near the end of the time. It's worth saying, well, nothing's blown up yet, no overheat, nothing unusual's happened. That popping, well, that's still just as loud as it was before, so no difference on that. Still getting smoke from the dipstick, so there's been no great shakes with this flush so far. It's all been pretty uneventful. So right, we're on the countdown now, so I'll turn the engine off seeing as we're getting towards yeah, here we go. Okay, so I'll turn the engine off. Okay, so this is the used oil after the flush, and considering this is only 9,000 miles old, I mean, it is pure black. You just can't see through that at all, and it stayed very thin as well. So yeah, I feel like I've had a really good drain out of the engine this time after using that flush, so happy so far. What I'll do, I'll actually pour some of it through a sieve, and I don't think there's going to be anything, but might be interesting to see if it's caught any actual particles. Okay, well, I can't find a sieve anywhere, but let's have a look, see if anything is left in the bottom of the catch pan. Okay, so the oil change has all gone well, been for a test drive, nothing unusual's happened. Thought I'd just do a follow-up on this smoke and noise coming from the oil filler and from the dipstick. As you can see, still getting smoke from the dipstick. Like I say, it's supposed to be, you know, not unusual, so it seems less forceful, I don't know. And then let's see on this, I'm not sure there's going to be much difference here. That sounds about the same to me. What I'll try and do is do a little side-by-side comparison, see if we can notice any difference. So no, it hasn't got rid of any noises on that, the engine flush, but I'd like to say I wasn't really expecting it to. It was just more out of interest. I'm not going to fit any more into the oil bottle because there's 6 litres here, or about 6, and it's only a 5 litre bottle. I think it's safe to say that there's nothing, there's no debris or anything, but it is a very pourable liquid after using the flush. I don't know, I'm not so sure. It's hard to tell if it has done anything. The engine definitely sounds quieter, but I've just done a fully synthetic oil change, so you know it's going to sound quieter anyway. So the jury's out on it, to be honest with you. It was satisfying to do it, and I'll report back if I have any adverse effects, if it's unmasked any leaks or anything like that. But would I use it again? Not in a hurry, no. Would I use it if I didn't know the history of a car and it had high mileage? Possibly. So it's not a recommendation that you should use it, that's your own decision. But that's my brief experience, and I hope you find that useful. Thanks for watching.